Good night, good night, good night, good night. This is your boy Vic here from Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome again to another episode of Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. And tonight we have another interesting guest, and this time is a doctor, right? And he become a friend of mine's the last couple of months, and I'm really honored to have him and bring him down to talk some interesting conversation about health, career, fitness, and you know some very important topics, right? So let me introduce Dr. Vishal, right? So Dr. Vishal, welcome on board.
Hey, good night, Vic. Good night, everybody. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. I know we're trying to work this out for a long time. I'm happy to finally be on and have a
uh,
chat.
well, Doc, yes, I know you're a busy man. I know you have a lot on your plate. I know the hours are long, and you still make time to put yourself in that schedule. So I know we have some interesting topics tonight, but I will give you the opportunity to introduce yourself properly so the people can know who you are and
Oh,
that kind of thing.
yeah. Well, my name is Vishal Becha, and I'm a doctor since 2019. I've been working since 2020 in obstetrics and gynecology. That's the career or the specialty that I'm pursuing at least at this point. I graduated from UE with my medical degree in 2019, and prior to that, I went to NAPS from 2007 to 2014. Um, I am an amateur gym enthusiast. I just interested in the sport of bodybuilding. I mean, I like the gym, I like the people. It's a nice culture to be in, and that's my main form of recreation. And well, through mutual friends, that's how I met Vic, and we get talking, and well, we're here now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we met a couple of months now, and the pleasure was mine because not every day you bounce up a doctor in the gym. You bounce up all kind of people, and then what you specialize in is you're actually the first that I've actually bounced up anywhere at all, and we will discuss what that is in a bit. And so you graduated from NAPS and UE, and I mean, but the field that you actually in, is it? Do you think
Yeah.
that is popular in Trinidad with men?
Um, Actually, in the among the older specialists that you would see in private practice and in the hospital, most of them I know, at least in South and Central, are men.
Yeah.
It's getting increasingly popular with women, and even in my department, is primarily women at this point. So it's shifting. It's shifting from interestingly more men to now more women, at least from the people I aware of.
Yeah. So let the people know exactly what area are you specializing in right now.
Okay, so obstetrics is the first part. Obstetrics, it deals with maternity care, labor, delivery, complications after delivery, delivery by cesarean section, minor surgical procedures during pregnancy, on mommy or baby, managing any complications that may arise during pregnancy or immediately after. So that's obstetrics. It deals with more or less the pregnant woman. Now, gynecology deals with the non pregnant woman mainly. So things like fertility, people who have irregular periods, periods that are too heavy, cysts on the ovary, things like fibroids, chronic pelvic pain, those things. So any problem really related to the female reproductive tract in the non pregnant woman is gynecology, and obstetrics is anything relating to pregnancy or pregnancy care and delivery.
Nice. That's actually an interesting field of career
Yeah,
choice. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a lot of women, pre and after,
only woman.
Well,
Only
that's
woman.
I can't complain there at all, my brother. And I ain't gonna complain. Most men probably wouldn't complain, but how do you feel as a young male in that particular field, especially with the the gynecology part of pre, like women coming to do the normal checkup? I just asking that based on
Right.
as a guy.
So, so this is not an uncommon question. It's a question most people will ask me when I tell them what I do. But the drive to do this actually started like 2019 when I was in my internship year. And I saw that like the topics were interesting to me. I enjoy doing the ultrasound. Like there's a certain amount of satisfaction you get from telling a patient when you do their first ultrasound to say, look, this is the baby, this is the heartbeat. You measure the little baby, you tell them your XYZ weeks, you play the heartbeat for them. I had patients where you will see them through the pregnancy and then they'll come and they'll be so proud to show you, Doc, this is the baby you helped me with, man. That was very gratifying. Um,
Yeah.
More on the obstetric side of it. Gynecology, I mean, it's kind of a two-part deal. I didn't pick this for the gynecology, but it's also satisfying to help mommies, to help ladies with any problems they might have there, particularly those who having fertility issues, and you're able to help them, to get pregnant, something they probably wanted since they were a little girl. They dream of a family, and you could help them achieve that. So that's part of why I chose to do it too.
Well, that's really cool. That's really admirable because you actually want to serve, right? And that is a healthy profession. And actually, I had a conversation today with a good friend of mine who we work together. And, she asked, where's the podcast today? And I told her, and she actually told me her gynecologist is a guy, a man. Well, yeah, and so many words. I can't remember his name. So it seems like and you're correct. There's a lot of guys out there. Some might be
Yeah.
older. The older guys would have been it a while. So you just following the part of what they probably been through, right? And as you mentioned, he was talking about there's a lot of female want to get pregnant and cannot, and you're so correct because since I started podcast, almost a year now, I had a couple of people, women came on this podcast, and that was a topic in the sense of the word PCOS, right?
Right.
And I actually didn't know what that meant before the podcast, but I know about women can make, having a problem, making sure, and even my
Right.
family, right? So I didn't know the severeness of it. There's actually a condition I didn't know. You probably could you know, say 2 minutes on it, to let the viewers kind of understand what do call
Okay.
what has really caused that, what really that is all about.
So, polycystic ovarian syndrome is basically a condition that contributes to infertility, but it's not the only cause, right? There are many other causes. But in the context of this podcast, PCOS is one of the things that exercise could help greatly with, right? So before we get into that, what polycystic ovaries is, if you think of the ovary as an egg basket, the ovary, a woman is born with two ovaries in the normal situation, and they each contain eggs. Each egg can become a baby. Every month, at the start of the menstrual cycle, she'll release an egg. In PCOS, they don't always release the egg, and the eggs remain in the ovary. PCOS stands
Mm,
for polycystic ovarian syndrome. So each one of those little eggs that remain in the womb contributes to one of the small cysts, so polycystic ovaries, right? And eggs, these cysts now, they secrete hormones. So some of the hormones might be androgenic, so close to male hormones now, and it can contribute to things like increased facial hair, deepening of the voice, development of male pattern baldness. Um, Also, because the egg is not being released and you have disturbances in your hormones, one, you have no egg, so you can't get pregnant, and two, the hormonal disturbances could actually cause you to have irregular bleeding. So your periods might be heavy, your periods might be irregular. And the last thing is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It contributes to insulin resistance. So insulin is popular hormone that helps regulate your blood sugar. Insulin causes you to PCOS causes you to have some insulin resistance, which could cause like darkening of the skin folds by the neck, under the arms, and the groin. Could also cause you to gain weight. It puts you at increased risk for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high cholesterol. So that is what PCOS is, as far as I could tell, becoming more prevalent. I'm not sure exactly why. The older heads is always say, well, there's the food you're eating and the fast food and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
probably. But how exercise helps regulate the hormones. Exercise could help you release eggs on time. It helps you bring your weight down. It lowers your risk of developing the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the cardiac disease, the high cholesterol, and it also gives you a healthier pre-pregnancy weight. So when you do conceive, you're less likely to be obese. Your chances of an adverse outcome in your pregnancy is much lower. Um, so that's how exercise could help there, and also like fatty tissue secretes hormones too. It secretes estrogenic hormones, which are the female hormones. But the more fatty tissue you have, the more estrogen you have, and that shouldn't be so. So again, it throws off your body's natural balance.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So exercise helps in many ways to regulate these things, and that's why it's one of the things we often tell patients. But nothing against anybody, and not to sound harsh, but patients will come to a doctor for anything: toe pain, infertility, pregnancy, eye pain, head pain, anything. And they'll expect you to say, take this tablet or take this injection, and oh, I gonna do this for you, and you're gonna be all right now. When you put the responsibility on somebody else, you find the response is a lot less. And people become hostile and they say, well, every time I come, you calling me fat, you weighing me, you not doing anything for me, you is a waste of time. Like I've been in that situation before.
Yeah, yeah.
But you try to explain to people, I will help you once you start helping yourself.
Yes.
You understand? Because me being delinquent with treatment, if that's what you think, only giving me more work. Because you will have your problem for longer and there's more work for me.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
I trying to help you in the safest way possible. Now the magic treatment don't exist.
Yeah, I think in everything we're coming to wellness, fitness, and lifestyle change. I think everybody who don't want to make that choice or make that shift looking for this magic pill still. And this is a worldwide
Yeah.
thing. And the end of the day, based on the condition that you mentioned just now, the PCOS, um, as a doctor, what you're saying that you recommend if any female out there dealing with that condition, exercise only can help. It can't
Yeah.
hurt. It can help, right?
Yeah. Unless you go to the very extremes of exercise where we're talking Olympic athletes, bodybuilders,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that is associated with decreased fertility for different reasons. But the
Yes,
average person doing exercise 4 to 7 times a week, 30 minutes to an hour, like it's not going to cause you anything but benefits.
yes. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So, because the thing about it is, even in me with encouraging and guiding people to change their lifestyle and do some exercise, whether it's gym, whether it's savannah, whether it's whatever, it's still an uphill battle because of the same people with patients, as you will call them, come to you for condition. They really prefer you to give them a pill to just whether I suppress the condition, right? Outside of you giving them the right advice, which is right. I may have to give you the pill, but to prevent this, change your diet and exercise. And that seems to be
Yeah.
the answers that they don't want. Yeah?
No.
They seem to be the answer they don't want. So they rather, in my view, for me, for what I've seen out there, I think most people rather live with the condition knowing they can take a pill than a permanent fix. It's just my personal view. That is my
For
view.
sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And I'll give you an interesting example. So I have a very close personal friend who he's my age, 20, 29 too. And at a very young age, I think it was 28, 27, somehow he got diagnosed with having high blood pressure. So, he was a bit concerned. He was getting headaches. He was put on medication and he didn't like it. He was getting side effects. One gave him a dry cough, one gave him a headache, and he really didn't like it. And when we were going to university, he was maybe about 170, 180 pounds. And over the course, he went up to 220. right? He was busy and whatever else. And but he said, you know what? I going to lose the weight. And he made some changes. He lost the weight and now he's off medication. His blood pressure back to normal. But it takes time, and sometimes you have to use the pill until you could do better. But you
Yes.
will never do better till you start.
Very well said. Very well said. And I think people need to hear this kind of conversation, and they need to hear it from people like yourself, people in the medical field, doctors, whatever professional in the health and medical field, because I think the vast majority of people worldwide seem to be okay with not making the lifestyle change. They prefer to, again, as I said, just pop a pill and know that is not permanent, but they're okay because it's less work, right? It's less work, so it's easier to just drink some water, take a pill, and if it's when the pill stop work, they go back by the doctor, which is yourself, people like you, and say, "Doc, this pill ain't working, I need a stronger dosage," right?
Yeah.
That's what people out there, But I think people need to understand, and I keep saying that doctors like yourself and others need to. I know some does it in the sense of still have the conversation. Hey, change your diet. Even if they get them the pill, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure, which, as you rightly say, you will need to take at the time. But they give the advice, change your diet, lose some weight, exercise. But somehow, when they leave the doctor office, they miss that part, and they just take the pill. Right? So for the woman, what you're saying is that for the women who having problem with um, pregnancy, like the PCOS and that kind of thing, exercise one, right? Managing your weight is another thing, right? How about women who don't have that condition, right? How important it is to, let's say, an obese woman who's pregnant, how important it is for them to still exercise during pregnancy with the weight that they have.
So that's an interesting question, and it's a bit of a tricky area because a lot of people view exercise negatively in pregnancy, right? They say,
Yes,
well, if I go and do this, I might miscarry or whatever, whatever. And I will tell patients who ask me that because sometimes you might meet the occasional gym rat who pregnant, or you might meet a patient who the pregnancy was the kickstart she needed to make some change, and all of those are fine. But I just tell them try to keep it moderate. Don't do things
yes,
heavy.
yes, yes, yes,
Don't
yes.
ever put yourself in a position where you're going to be like I don't know how to describe this eloquently, but when you're doing a squat or deadlift or you just brace your core, like those are
Yeah,
movements you want to avoid.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes,
so the safest thing is like light to moderate intensity aerobic exercise. You're
yes,
doing your treadmill, your stepper, your cycling, you're just leisurely walking, like those things, because it will help with your blood sugar regulation.
mm,
It will help you from putting on too much weight in the pregnancy, because I will never understand, but I'm not ignorant to the fact that pregnancy cravings are a real thing, right? Me and you will never say we understand because neither of us have been pregnant. But I've seen it in enough people to know it's not something we're making up. It's a real thing. And but doing the light exercise, particularly after meals, and it could help also relieve some of the lower back pain and the joint pain you might get. It may help you sleep better. Pregnant women often have trouble falling asleep. For ladies who have bad nausea or vomiting, sometimes having a brisk walk after your meal could help the food settle and get shuttled out the stomach faster. And all of these things, they may or they may not work. But what is the disadvantage of going for a light stroll? You understand? Like the
yeah,
cost to enter is free. And when people say things like, well, the cost is somebody go shoot me, somebody go bounce me down, well, I say, well, walk around your house. If you're capable, take a one or two up the step. If you're fortunate enough to have a treadmill or a stationary bike or something, do a 10 minutes. Like, there always is options now. But you have to be motivated and you have to want it enough to take the options to do it.
yeah, yeah. And the thing about it is, people, it just this whole exercise wellness, whether you're pregnant or you're not pregnant, male or female, well, not the pregnant part, female, but changing your habits, boy, I found it very challenging doing what I do, and I'm in fitness and health for a very long time. I find it's very challenging when you're talking to people to get them to make that mental shift. They say, I know, Vic, I know, but there's always a but coming. And one of the but after one of the but is always be time, right? I do at the time. I work it the whole day. When you work tired, I know how to come out prepare for the kids. And the husband saying, "Oh God, bro, I'm tired, boy. This work stressful. I don't have the time." I just hear that all the time. So for somebody like you, and I say that to ask you this question, somebody like you who I know Jim, I see your Jim in hard in the night, and he's come late. So I know, whole day you're working, and I know you just come late. So how it is manage that balance of, because your job, I know is intense. I know that. Balance that job and still, instead of saying, you know what, I had a hectic day, I go to and sleep. I go to watch some Netflix or some kind of thing and relax myself to
Yeah.
prepare for the next day. How do you prepare yourself? What is the shift, for you to not let that consume you and still go to the gym and make time for yourself?
Well, you see, Vic, I think what a lot of people who in you or my position don't understand is we're very privileged in that we like to exercise. We like the gym. We enjoy going to the gym. It's something we look forward to. So it don't take that much effort to get off the couch and go to the gym for me as yourself, because you're doing this much longer than I am, right? And but there are some people who hate the gym. They don't like to go. They don't want to go. It's hard. It's far. But firstly, to address that issue is you have to understand why you're doing it. Apart
Yeah,
from liking it, if you understand why you're doing it, then you will understand that you need to do it.
correct. Well said.
You
Well
understand?
said. Yes.
Because every time I go into work and I ask myself, why am I doing this? I just open the wallet. And when I have nothing in it, I know, all right, go.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
the
yeah,
work done.
yeah.
Uh,
That's yeah.
so you understand? Because people go to the gym for different reasons. You
Yes.
might go to the gym because you're a coach and it's your job.
Yeah.
You might go to the gym because you're an athlete and it's your
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
You're a competitor in bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, arm wrestling, anything.
Yeah.
But for people who go into the gym just to be healthier, they lack that motivation. They don't have something saying, get up and get out. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm able to make time, because I enjoy it. I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might require sacrifice. Like when I first got into my current relationship, my girlfriend used to say, but is gym every day when we could go out, when we go out. So
Yeah.
I started going with her to the gym.
Correct.
So it helped motivate her to go to the gym. It helped keep her consistent. We also get to spend time together. It put us on like different wavelengths of conversation. She was able to meet some of the people and close to me that she wouldn't have meet otherwise. People like yourself was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and another thing about I don't have time. Like I understand that. I understand life is busy, but if you set a plan at the start of the week and you aim for consistency, because we had this discussion before, going to the gym 3 times a week, when your plan was to go to the gym 5 times a week, in my opinion, is way worse than going twice when you plan to go twice.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
If you set realistic expectations for yourself, because if you say, well, I'm supposed to go 5 times, but I only went 3, we can start again next week. And if you say, well, I have an early day Tuesday, I have an early day Wednesday, I'll probably hit the gym those 2 days and I'll focus on editing my podcast or making my flyers and thing on the other afternoons. I'll make
Yes.
time for the
Yes.
family, time for the kids,
Yes.
And
Yes.
further to that point, exercise is not just going to the gym. You and I like going to the gym and banging the iron and the loud music and everything. But exercise could be you go out and you walk with your kids. You go
Yes.
out and you walk your dog.
Yeah.
You take a 30-minute jog on your treadmill. You do you open YouTube and you do a yoga video. You go to a Pilates class. You go to spin. Anything exercise is not just having a six-pack abs and 25-inch arms. And it
Yeah.
might be for me and you, but that is not the entirety for everybody now. And people, they don't make the time for it. And if you try to mix exercise with things you enjoy, it becomes much less of a hassle.
Yes. That's true.
You know,
Yes,
you
that's true.
go, you play football, you go, you play cricket, you go, you play golf. And that way you have people to motivate you now. So they
Yeah.
point them back and they say, "But Vic, how you not running? Yeah. And now you motivated to improve your fitness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, and you as a busy person yourself, how you make time for the gym too? Because if you see in me, you there late.
Well, just as yourself, my brother, is that I have a job, 12 hours. I have podcast content. I have a magazine, as you know, right? I have
Yeah.
a symposium, every 2 months plan and all of that. But you said it just now. I make my training part of everything else that is important, right? So if I doing content and stuff during the course of the day, right, I will train at night, right? And if I have an event in the night, I will find time during the course of the day. Even if I can get in my full length of time, even if I do a 45 minutes based on a restraint on time, I'll get that. But I personally train 6 days a week, and I set out to train 6 days a week, right? I just make it work because if you focus your mind on what you want, right, you'll make it happen. The energy and everything that come out of you will make it happen. And if for some reason you fall short, well, 5 out of 6 isn't bad, right? For me, that's how I look at it. And
Life
also,
is happen. Yeah.
life has happened, right? And you said something there about YouTube, so that's why I tell people is that, telling me any time, for me, that's a lame excuse, and I'm saying it because I don't promote gym, I support wellness. And you said it just now again, where you could go to the savannah, you could walk a dog, or take a train, put it, if you have a newborn baby, 3, 6 months, put them in a stroller for female, walk around a park or whatever. That is really determination and discipline you have to find, right? Because you said it again, how much people go into work to a job that they don't like? You know that. We hate we boss, the pay enough, all kind of thing, right? But we still go because we have a big why, because we tell ourselves, you know what? When I open my wallet, it empty. When the month come,
Yes.
I pay my floor bill, my internet bill, my train, her lessons, or whatever the case may be. So your why pushes you to go to a job that you hate, right? But
Yes.
but then the health is my why, right? Because if you ain't putting something in the health bank, right, you down the road, you go reward something that you don't want, right? And you as a doctor, you know that you're guaranteed to pick up one of these lifestyle diseases if you just go about your business, just working, coming back home, eating everything in sight, and feel, you know what? Well, put your hands up in the air and say, well, whatever. You can say that no, but when whatever comes, you doesn't like what it comes with, right? So at the end of the day, all I just tell people, for me personally, and what I'm telling people out there, hey, give yourself a chance by taking a chance on yourself. That's all. If you can make 3 days, you can make 4 days, whatever days you could make, it could be half an hour walking, it could be table tennis, lawn tennis, whatever it is, something to for me, gymming it distress me. So when we say, Vicky, going and lift iron and that distressing you, I say, you don't understand. What I'm on this job, what doing anything else. My mind focus on that. So you find now, jobs can be a little stressful, but the one thing you can do for yourself is exercise, whichever form of exercise you want. You're doing it for
Yeah.
you, you're doing it for your boss, you're doing it for you.
It's the
Right?
only thing you just do for yourself. I had
Yes,
that thought recently too.
yes, it's the only thing. Everything else is for somebody, your children, your family, your mother, father, that's fine. But
It is.
individually, it's the only thing you can do for yourself, all right?
And and you're also doing it for them, Vic, because the healthier
Yes,
you are, the more well you are, the better you could be there for them.
yes. And
When
that's the
daddy
best.
or uncle gets sick,
You there to carry that flag.
and nobody cares that you are slaving to buy them a PS4 when you're bedbound.
Nobody
You know,
cares.
you say it there, your health is the best gift you could give to them. And you
Yeah,
never know, you might motivate somebody in or around you to make the change yourself.
yeah. I do that. I mean, I go places and people like, hey, yes, motivate me in the gym, because listen, I believe before I say what I say, you said something. I don't want to forget. I want to get back to this point. You mentioned, when you get involved in, like, in a relationship, most relationship, if the guy or the woman is a gymmer, eventually the other party who is not a gymmer or not really into exercising is sooner or later you'll get some little static in between, spending time, and that's normal, right? But when you
Yeah,
can manage, when you are able to convince your partner, you know what, try it at least now, and they come and they see that world of, hey, it's really something that I could probably think I could like too. So the best thing
yeah,
a partner could do for the spouse, to me, is, a common with you, right? Because the conversation in the gym with your spouse, it will be different. It will be a different conversation with the spouse outside the gym. You
yeah,
understand? Because based on what I saw the night with yourself and your girlfriend, I saw you work together, you talk to her, you help her, you show her, and all of that. And that by itself, that gym environment is only in the gym. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you had dumbbells and machine home, so you wouldn't have that kind of interaction home, right?
right, yeah,
So that, again, couples, the few couples that I've seen in gym all over Trinidad that work out together is rare. I can tell you that that's very rare. And when you see that, I always admire it, because most of the time, one party going to the gym, there's some old talk sooner or later. It's always pop up. Yeah, it's
yeah,
always, right? So it's good when you can convince your girlfriend or your boyfriend, in some cases for females, to come to the gym, because you actually care about them outside of taking them for dinner, taking them for a trip, because you trying to help them, get healthier, and you want them live longer the same way you do it. Because the same way you go into the gym, any one of us, to improve our health, obviously you don't want to be healthy and your spouse not healthy. Come on, nobody want that,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
when your partner could say, you know what, you go in 5 days, but I will make 3 days. Take that still, because
yeah.
most partners, trust me, they say, nah, I not a gym, that ain't my thing, So
It's a
yeah,
start. It's a
yeah, it's
start.
a start. Take that. Take it from me. You take that, and based on what I saw, she looked like she was enjoying herself. Yeah,
And yeah, but again, Vic, an important caveat to that statement too is like, don't let there be friction if you don't like to do what I am doing.
yeah. No, no,
Don't
no.
let that
You're
be the
correct.
argument now. You don't want to come in the squat rack or the hack squat, or you just don't want to lift weights in general. Well, you could discuss it and let we do other things.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
go for a walk, or maybe
yes,
while I upstairs in the weights, you go to the spin class or the Pilates or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
You know, we
yes,
might not be together, but we spending the same time here doing something that'll be better for both of us.
yes.
And
I,
I would say not just couples, like for single people. My gym partner for many years was my best friend, and we used to live in the same apartment in UAE and thing. And when we gym together, we supported each other in that we would cook and share food, but nobody cooking any rubbish food.
uh,
We try not to keep snacks in the place. We try not to have soft drink. We try not to buy too much fast food, and the same thing with couples who live together. The same thing with my brother and I, because we still live with my parents. Like we tell each other, yeah, no, we're not going for KFC today. We'll go home and we'll make a sandwich, or we go home and we have a shake or something like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
benefits you too, because you have
yeah.
somebody to support you now.
Yes, yes. And it's good when you have a gym buddy, whether it's a brother, a cousin, a partner, right? Well, the rare always a spouse, but those are the minority partner. It is half for gym, right? So,
Yeah,
so if you have a brother, a cousin, a partner that on that plane with you, I could tell you this is really help, you know, right? Because my God, like, man, and like, hey, you go say, hey, bro, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't eating that tonight, we are not certain,
yeah,
and pull it up there,
exactly. Yeah,
and that is
yeah,
important. That is important. You got a gym buddy. If you can have one, find one I mean, that's perfect. It helps. It is easy load based on what I know. Is be more inspiring because not everybody have that discipline to just go to gym and push 100% each day, or get up. Three of us have it, but most people like to have a partner or a girlfriend, in the sense of female check, hey girl, let me meet me at the hill for 4 o'clock, like for Chancellor and those kind of
Yeah,
places, right? Because when you go Chancellor in the evening, 9 out of 10, it's always groups, like two, three people from
yeah.
work thing, which is good because you know what? Everybody they had their own personal why they're doing it. And sometimes your why could be your partner or your brother that encourages you to
It's a
start.
line.
Is a line. So let me line pushing iron. That's the best line ever because
Yeah.
yeah, you're in a safe place. And far as I know, I ain't seen no gunman come in the gym yet and misbehave. So it's a safe place, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
it's a safe space for now. No trouble. These gunmen will come in there, so we are right for the while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right for the while. So another thing I want to ask too is that and I think I need to say it coming from you, how is important exercise for male and female humans in your life generally? How important is that really? What it helps in the sense of lifestyle disease and not doing any form of exercise, what can it make worse as you get older?
So, I re- if we think about it, Vic, the more we progress, and not to sound too National Geographic, but the more we progress, the lazier we become.
Yes.
Because everything, you have an app for it, you could get a drop to it, you don't have to walk, it have wheels. We're not doing anything laborious again. You 8 to 4 most days. You sat behind a desk, you sat behind a screen, and you're eating usually high calorie amounts if you're not careful. And you're just packing on weight, you're not moving, and the role of exercise is kind of to replace what our natural activity was, right? Monkeys used to climb trees and eat bananas. Monkeys still climbing trees and eating bananas, and they're not fat.
Yeah.
They don't have
Yeah.
diabetes. We
Yes.
change what we used to do, and we just getting sicker and sicker and sicker, right? And exercise tends to mitigate that because people just often make the comment of looking at how laborers might go and they go work hard whole week, then they might drink alcohol, then they might eat a little bad on the weekend, and they go outlive somebody who eat a nice food and driving a nice car and living in a nice house, and it's simply because they're active and they move in. My grandparents in the 80s, and they both relatively very healthy because they work hard their whole life. They were
Yeah.
active.
Yes.
Now, now your job or my job, oftentimes it do entail activity. We can't be active, but that is where exercise comes in now
Mm.
because we have to supplement the activity by going to the gym, going for the walk, and whatever. And exercise, the benefit actually changes as you age, right? So we talk about the reproductive benefits on women. For men, it also has benefits because as you age, just as women go through menopause, you have a natural, not you, but men, have a natural drop in testosterone,
Yes.
and exercise stimulates testosterone production, especially resistance training, meaning, weights and stuff.
Yeah.
And also as you age as well, you obviously, depending on your genetics, you're more prone to developing things like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, heart disease, strokes. Exercise helps with all those things. It helps regulate your blood sugar. It helps keep your blood pressure normal, helps lowers your resting heart rate, keeps your cholesterol in check. And people who exercise tend to pay a little more attention to their diet because
Yes.
people who exercise tend to have a healthier lifestyle. It's not just the exercise. You know, because if you go for a 30-minute walk and then you eat a 15-piece bucket, you're making sense. But chances are the man who go for the walk in the evening with his wife or with his dog not coming home to eat a 15-piece bucket.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And also what people don't realize it's common in older people to say, well, I'm going for a little walk to keep the heart healthy, which is fine, which is perfect, which is ideal. But in older people, not just aerobic exercise, meaning cardio, weight training or resistance training has two big, or three rather, big benefits. One, it could help increase your mood and promote healthy brain function. So you have reduced, it could increase the age at which you develop dementia if you're genetically prone to it. It also helps with your cognition. It helps you think and function better as you get older. The second one, particularly in women, is important. Resistance training helps improve bone health and bone strength. So you're less likely to have fractures because everybody have a relative who fall on and break the hip, fall on and break the hand, fall on and break the foot. It's not just because they lack balance and coordination, it's because their bone's weaker. Resistance training, because you're putting more load on your skeleton, helps the bones to get stronger. Is why astronauts have weak bones, because the gravity is less, so they have less weight on the skeleton. If you add more weight on your skeleton, and I'm not saying granny have to squat a 500,
Mhm.
but you go and you do something that requires effort from you. And the last one is everybody have a relative who, when you go and you see them, their skin and their bones, they're so tiny, they're this fat. And that is because you have age-related muscle loss. I think it's called age-related sarcopenia.
Mm.
And resistance training in somebody like me or you, where we eating a lot, we eating the right things, will help us pack on muscle. But in older people, it might help them maintain the muscle they have. And when you're able to maintain the muscle you have, you're less dependent on people for help. You're more independent. You could get up your bed, you could sit on the toilet, you could walk, and people just wait till they're sick and they can't exercise to then say, I want to go exercise.
Yes, that's so true.
It's,
That's so true.
it's too
Yes.
late.
Well, we are culture of that. We have culture of that, and I think now, Vishal, is that what you see on social media in like in the States and more Europe and thing is that women actually, well, fit women with health and fitness. The same conversation you now had with me there about women in strength training, actually saying the same thing. Doctors out there, strength training is so important for male and female, but the misconception in the past that women not supposed to lift weights as they get older. Actually, have stay away from it because you're getting old. But science and time has shown that it's the reverse. You know,
Yeah.
so now you see women and men. A few of them I follow 60s and 70s, and they're bench pressing, and they're looking like they're in their 40s or 20s because they haven't lose any muscle mass, right?
Yeah.
I just always follow these people, and the same thing they keep saying, the same thing you just said, doctors saying it, nutritionists out there saying it, and it now starting to spill over here because we live with a misconception of women not supposed to lift weights, especially when they hit 40. That's a young people thing. You understand? Or you're gonna look like a man. What I've heard before, you're gonna look like a man. Right? So I can see you looking like a man if you're doing strength training and you're doing it for recreation and for health. You can't look like a man. The women who go in for this competition on them, and I personally don't find it look like no man, they there's a sport just like running, jumping, swimming. Swimmers' shoulders be massive because that's a sport
Yeah.
create those things. So a 100-meter runner and a long distance runner have two different look. You understand?
Yeah.
It's based on the sport, right? But people tend to, say negative thing about a sport when they don't want to do it, right? Or
Exactly. Yeah.
that's what they do, and especially we in the Caribbean here, we in Trinidad here. I think we number one for that. Instead of commending somebody and say, hey, I like how you're looking, girl. That discipline, and you really lose some weight. You're looking nice, tone. It's like, girl, you go in the gym, take care of yourself, look like a man. I've heard it on the job. I've heard it, right? We rather to criticize than to compliment someone who making an effort because we, refuse to make an effort ourselves. We tend to speak negative with somebody who's doing it.
No, and I think another part of it too, Vic, is ignorance. We don't know. We hear somebody else say that and we parrot it too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because you yourself being in the gym a while and me finally getting close to that physique I was aiming for. It take real long to do this,
Yes,
And
my brother.
it take real effort pushing plenty sets, pushing
Yeah,
heavy sets. You're not, if your goal as a woman is to tone these areas or lose weight or whatever, then you set your goal towards that. Not
yes,
everybody who pick up a dumbbell will look like Chris Bumstead
correct.
or Schwarzenegger.
Yes, yes.
That is real hard.
It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's
And
hard.
there is a big difference, and somebody was saying this on a podcast I listened to recently, between health and fitness, right?
Yes, correct.
Because you could be fit. You could be using whatever enhancing drugs. You could be using whatever unhealthy training therapy. You could be eating the worst. If you remember this sensational bodybuilder all over the internet, Sam Sulek.
Yes,
When Sam was doing the bulk and he was drinking the chocolate milk and he was doing this and that, and he was doing his 30 minutes cardio and whatever, somebody would watch him and say, watch how fit and healthy he is. Versus somebody like me who have the little belly still, but I still do my hour cardio every day. I try not to eat too much garbage. Like, he is obviously fitter than me, but is he healthier?
yeah,
You understand? It's not the same thing, especially, and I have nothing against athletes who take performance enhancing drugs, but you have to use it alongside people who know what they're doing, who can monitor
correct.
blood work,
Yes, yes,
prescribe doses accordingly. Because looking healthy don't make you healthy.
yes, yes. And that, you see that? I need to say something on that because it's a question that's been asked from time to time, and I tell people this. There's a difference, and you said that there's a difference between being fit and being healthy. Because if somebody who in the gym every day, which has happened in the past, and they're looking all lean and they fall on and die from a heart attack or whatever, first thing people say, boy, that man every day in the gym, and he exited, but he might have been fit, but he wasn't healthy because his eating habit, and you right, and you said it again, which is, and the problem you have in Trinidad, when you watch these professional athletes, like the same guy mentioned there, and Ronnie Coleman and these fellas that went on as Mr. Olympia, right? Mr. Olympia, they have nutritionists, doctors right by the side, most of them, right? And they know when to come off and to come on those drugs on them. But we, with the limited knowledge here, we just looking at the aesthetics. We want to look good for carnival, and we taking some of these drugs on them from a trainer, which I totally disagree, right? And I'm saying it here. They have trainers giving people injection, right? And giving them things to drink without they have no medical experience. So I don't understand. I've seen people in the locker room inject themselves. I have seen this, right? With certain things.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And not even competitor, I talk about normal people, right?
But it is go back to that point we make earlier where they were the magic treatment now. You could
Yes.
take some drugs and have a crappy diet and half-ass your exercises, and then boom, use the man there,
Yeah.
6-pack, 8-pack, 12-pack, your legs like tree trunks, your chest like a shield, but you're not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm happy you bring up that point because this is away from the average person now, right?
Yeah.
This is looking at somebody like myself or yourself, who trying to be the best version of themselves. You have a goal in mind,
Yes.
right? You have a strength goal, you have a weight goal, you have a physique goal, whatever that is. It's very important to understand, especially as a doctor, that not only the effort you put in the gym is going to translate into results, right? Because you could come and slam 50 sets or whatever and go home, but your sleep is poor, you're smoking heavy, you're drinking alcohol, you don't have high quality foods as well as you don't have the macronutrients you need. Right? You're just eating a bunch of fried food, you're not having enough protein, you're not drinking enough water. So it's important to maximize all those aspects of life to reach your full genetic potential. Am I
Yeah.
sleeping enough? Am I eating enough? Am I training hard enough? Am I resting enough? And then, if you get all that in check, and now you say, well, I'm not where I want to be, then you should meet somebody who is knowledgeable, qualified, and
Yes.
then have the discussion about enhancements now.
Yes.
I firmly believe that, and that's why I personally will never reach the point of that conversation because I will admit I don't eat or sleep enough.
Yeah, yeah. It's a commitment, and if to balance, to reach that level as a competitor in bodybuilding, and working at 8 to 4 or 12, whatever the job is challenging in this country, because the level of support you need for that is not, it's very difficult to achieve any premium physique,
Benefits. Yeah.
it's difficult. And you said something earlier on, which is not everybody you see looks a particular way. You know, it was an easy journey. A matter of fact, it's never easy journey. I'm talking about without enhancement drugs. So, for instance, when I saw you some months ago and when I saw you the other day, I saw a big difference. I told you this, right? And
Yeah.
and I know his work because I know you taking no drugs because you just doing just like me for self betterment, right?
Yeah.
And so people just watch the finished product or they doesn't think of you didn't start there. Nobody in the gym or see outside the gym with a body from the gym start walking in the gym with a body that looking a certain way. We all went with our belly with some fat hanging all over the place, right? And we mindset ain't really sure,
Yeah.
but we end up there. So after months or years in some instances, commitment, right? And as you rightly said, I and all doesn't get the best sleep. I will admit that, right? But I try to balance my eating and writing in my body. But I know I don't get enough sleep based on the hours I work and time and everything else. But I'm not saying that I'm not trying on that aspect of sleep, right? But I am still going to do the other things that I know that is important. Another thing we forgot to mention in the some of the ingredients you need to grow or to change your lifestyle and wellness is managing stress, right?
Yeah.
And that is a key factor, especially with life. You know that.
Well, well, Vic, that could be anecdotal evidence that mommy tell me or my grandma tell me, but medically,
Hmm.
when you stress, your body releases stress hormones, a hormone called cortisol, is a steroid, and it,
Hmm.
it sends up your blood sugar. It makes you feel lazy, and it contributes to weight gain. So
Uh,
managing stress is like paramount now, and we fortunate enough that going to the gym for us is a way of stress management. But somebody else who's stressed might go by the bar, miss the gym, but they in the bar now. So you need to find healthy ways to manage stress.
that that what you mentioned there, well said, well put, because the stress coming, whether you like it or not, it coming.
Stress coming.
It coming. So let me establish that, right? So traditionally, we know in this country here, well, it's probably all over too. We manage the stress either in the bar with a bottle or in the house with food, right? Or in some cases, a cigarette and what have you, right?
Yeah.
That's been the old way and still modern to probably most people still. But healthy choices to manage your stress, I think, is what we need, and we need to preach out there, because the gym is number one. I think it have reading books, and that's what I will recommend. Going for a walk, talking to a like-minded friend like yourself, because most of the time, especially with men, we believe when we're stressed out, we tend to do the opposite of what women do, which is talk. We keep it inside, right?
Stuff
Right?
it down deep.
We stuff it down deep. Which
Yeah.
well, as a doctor, right? Which you now said, and I think a lot of men need to understand. what it does. I mean, people, women as well, but what stress does to your body, right? I think that is what a lot of people missing. And sometimes we go to the job and we boss give us some pressure, and or the job itself that day very hectic, and we angry and this and that. And what I saw with my own eyes, someone some years ago was curling and falling right in front of my eyes and get a stroke. I actually saw the transformation right there, right? And he's, how that is, limited from that day to this day. So there's no win when you're managing stress at, when you're in a situation where it's tense or it's very, hectic, and you allow it to get to that point in the crowd and you take it wherever. Who suffer really is your family, You're putting
Yeah,
them in a
and then
position.
ultimately,
Yeah,
no, I tell people, if you're the most selfish person in the world and you don't care about nobody, you care about yourself. You want to be in a wheelchair. You
yeah,
want to go blind. You want to lose your foot from diabetes. You want to do dialysis. Like, be the most selfish person you want.
yeah,
But you don't ask yourself, do I care about myself? You
yes,
understand? Because, like we said earlier, exercise is the only thing you do for yourself.
yes, yes. And also, going back about a half an hour in this podcast, you mentioned about the monkeys, and I like that analogy, I'll be honest with you, right? Because I've never seen a fat monkey. I've seen big monkeys, I never see a fat monkey, right? I'll be straight with you, right? And monkeys, I mean, I could be wrong. I've never heard in any program or any documentary monkeys with diabetes or anything like that. I don't know. I've heard, but it's in online or they use monkeys to do a lot of research because they tend
Yeah.
to take a lot of they can take a lot of different things. But they nobody don't want to hand a monkey a banana in the jungle. They go look for food, right? So they're
Yeah.
swinging, as you rightly said, they're swinging, they're jumping, every single day from the born to maybe until they die, however they die, right? So they lean. An old monkey had to go look for food just like a young monkey, right?
Yeah.
A young lion had to go and hunt just the old one or a middle-aged one. It's no different. And those animals doesn't suffer from none of the disease that we suffer from. Yeah?
Not for the most part, at least. Yeah.
Well, most part of it, right? So
Yeah.
we are doing, and you know what? They we have the mindset of choice. So even if we go down a road and we know we're doing the wrong thing, we can say, you know what? Let me change my direction. They don't have that option.
See, you see the word you use there, choice, Vic. That is something I try to tell people because it's very hard to make big changes in your life because maybe you're time constrained, maybe you're financially constrained, maybe whatever your situation is, right? But the way I achieve whatever changes in my weight and my physique I have is making very small changes over a long period of
Yeah,
time,
of time. Yeah.
right? And some of these sustainable changes I was able to make is like, um, you're going to buy the barbecue. Well, instead of the fries, get the baked potato or the salad.
Yes.
You're feeling for a fizzy drink. You have the club soda or you have the diet or the zero sugar option.
Yeah.
You understand? You're going to work, walk up the step instead of taking the elevator. And then when you pick up the snack, ask yourself, do I really need this snack? And probably either not have it or have a fruit or something. Like
Yeah.
making those very small changes, you would be surprised because those are the changes I have made. And
Hmm.
in the past, maybe the past 6 months, I lose almost 20 pounds.
Hmm. And that's
Right?
amazing.
Without adding drugs, without adding any insane amount of cardio.
Yes.
Um, and that has been while resistance training as well. So I probably put on some lean mass too, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard, it's not hard things to do, and you don't have to do all. You will see a positive change with any one you make. Obviously, the more the bigger the change.
Yes.
So, and it's tying to what the title, your podcast, what you describe it as, sorry, is a lifestyle.
It's lifestyle. It's lifestyle.
It's
I,
many small changes.
but I would say this before we wrap up, is that we make it's easy for we as a people, not you and me, to make changes that don't add any value to our health. Before, for instance, you tell someone, when they go to the supermarket, instead of buy X, buy Y, instead of buy snacks, buy mix it at least with some fruits and vegetables. They say, gosh, nothing expensive to do. But after this carnival finishing, it had people saving money for March last year for costume this
For
carnival,
sure. People
right?
taking
Yeah.
loan and thing from the bank.
Yes. Yeah, the bank realized they're going on. These people crazy, so let's make some money on them. So the bank
Yeah.
doing their thing, right? And all financial institutions jump on board. Look at your health. What things I add to my speeches now, Vishal, is that most people don't look at their health as an investment. We invest 250,000 to 300 up in a vehicle that as soon as we drive it out of the showroom, it devalue, right? That's a fact. We invest, we like to travel to go, other countries and just to sightsee, and the ticket is $3,000-4,000, for one person, and we pay all these extravagant fees. We trust a pilot who we don't know. If he healthy or if he had an attack on that plane, we dead, right? And we trust that pilot more than we trust ourselves. Just imagine
Yeah.
that. So people is invest in car, the Louis Vuitton bag, they invest in costume. The 7,000 costume could fit in one of your hand or my hand, right? And guess what? The same music that playing in the bands that charging $7,000-8,000 is the same music playing in a band that charging $1,000.
I better yet is the same music playing in the gym. Go to the gym instead.
Yes, right. So I like that. So again, it's about prioritizing your choices, right?
Um, yeah, and Vic, before we wrap up, I wanted to just give you three small stories I had, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mentioned before how patients they always feel like you're attacking them when you tell them lose weight. So I was in a car accident in 2009. I broke my left leg. Recently, within the last 2 years, I started getting some knee pain, do a MRI. My knee pretty badly damaged. I have a torn meniscus and two torn ligaments. And the first thing the doctor says is, look, we can do the surgery and may or you may not improve. We cannot do the surgery and may or may not deteriorate. What would definitely benefit you is go and lose some weight. And that is why I was real motivated to lose weight, right? I was getting pain with every step I take. And when I thought about it one day, I don't get any pain when I squat, and I could, squat heavy. I could squat twice my body weight. But squatting 400 plus once, twice, three times is a lot less than with every step you take on the floor.
Yeah.
That's 20
Yes.
pounds on your knee.
Yes.
How much
Yes.
steps you take for the day times 20 pounds extra on your one knee?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's detrimental, and that's why being very overweight is not healthy for your joints.
It's not.
And I squatting, I walking, I running, everything pain free now. My knee best, no more swelling, no nothing. I back to normal.
That's
You
great,
know?
man. And you had a choice, eh?
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
I had a choice. And the second story is I have an uncle who chronic back pain, did an MRI, you have a bulge in this. They say you have two options. You could do the surgery or you could go and you could do the surgery or you could wait and watch. And he talked to me and I said, well, boy, try these stretches, try some exercise, see if you drop some weight, you stop smoking, what will happen? He do all that and now he pain free. He didn't need the surgery.
Yes, man. Yes.
Didn't have to have the surgery. So
Yes.
it works. Exercise works, but people will wait till they have a problem, including myself. I guilty, I do. But learn from my mistake. Don't have to make a mistake for you to learn.
Yes. 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 That's well said. That's well said. And to get stories like that, that's real people with real stories. This is not stories coming out from social media. Look, you saying it there. You're a real person, right in through that here. a doctor, and one of the stories you itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have anything to gain, right? I'm not trying to sell you something or whatever. I'm telling you this for you. People
Yeah.
quick to take advice from the company that's selling the weight loss pill and whatever, but you ever stop to think? They will tell you anything to get you to buy this. They're making
Yes.
money.
Exactly, and that's what they do, and that's the purpose, right? None of those people who selling those pill and all those those fake miracle pill, they sell it to exercise, you know. They just tell you to come and get the pill and you will lose the weight, whatever. But it's not true. And they'll put somebody who exercising to model the product like it's the product that make get them
Yeah,
that size. That's what they do, right? And
for sure.
it's a business. And once you understand your health is your responsibility and nobody else, you should make that switch, right?
Yeah, and Vic, it didn't take you 3 weeks to be 50 pounds overweight. You're not
Ah,
going to lose 50 pounds in 3 weeks.
yes, that's true.
Be consistent. And the thing with making small changes, Vic, it's sustainable. When you make small changes in your diet, you don't get fed up and crash out and you're back on eating junk food.
No, no, you're
Right?
correct. You're correct.
If I go in home and I feel to eat a doubles, I will stop and eat the doubles. If we
Yes,
outside and somebody want chicken wings or they want to drink a beer, I go drink the beer and eat the wings.
yes, and
But I don't make a habit of it.
as just on that
You
note,
gotta live too.
you have to live. I told someone the other day, based on what you said, people who make an effort with their health and fitness and make it part of a lifestyle. You can stop anytime you're with your friends. If doubles the order at the day is fine. If you go like with your friends and drink a beer or two, that is just occasionally. That's not part of your daily habits. So I
Yeah.
I cheat from time to time. I eat a chocolate here, a chocolate there. If I go wherever the other days, whatever I like with my friends, so be the case. But that can have a dent in my lifestyle because my lifestyle exclude those things every day. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is. People don't understand. It's like, well, I can't live like all that. Eat this and that. Listen, as you rightfully said, the people who lose these weight is inch by inch, pound by pound. You gain the weight over 50, 40, 30 years, or you have a lifestyle, diabetes or pressure for 5, 10 years, you have to take your time. The day you decide you want to get rid of it or make an attempt to, fight, battle it, you have to take some time because they call this disease, as you know, as a doctor, lifestyle disease. They could not call it anything else. Why they call it lifestyle disease? Not because of
Your lifestyle.
well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
simple. So that's why I tell people it's not an overnight thing. The men and women you see looking okay is people who made a change, not yesterday, right?
Yeah.
They made a change somewhere in the past and they decide, you know what, enough is enough. Whether it's a story like you and your knee and the pain, you say, you know what, I really don't want this pain every step that I make because I step in a lot based on my profession. I want to make a change. And simple as that. So just as most doctors that come on this program and other people, key people, I would call them in the sense of wellness, like the professional, like yourself, one, two of them came back based on, different topics in the same medical field. And I think it's important for the viewers because a lot of people need help out there, as you know, and could have suffered from a lot of these things. So before we go, Vishal, can close us off with something that the people would want to, hear from a doctor like yourself, where health and wellness is concerned?
Um, yeah, I think everybody, it doesn't matter your weight, it doesn't matter your age, you can benefit from exercise. And if you should be guided by what you feel comfortable doing. If you try doing something too exertional and you're getting a chest pain, well, have it investigated, but probably don't run again till your doctor clear you.
Correct.
And the cost to entry, Vic, is zero. Get up, go outside and take a walk. You don't need the Gymshark and the Apple Watch and the headphones and the Lululemon and the this and the that and the trainer and the supplements and whatever.
Yes,
All
Lena.
these things are nice to have. I might be in a position where I'm fortunate enough to have some of it. And that's fine. That's what I spend most of my free time doing. But it's not essential. You don't need it.
No, you don't need it. Yes, you're
You
correct.
could reach Europe in a BMW, or you could travel.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
having certain things might make it a little bit easier for you, but not having them will never make it impossible.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Well
So
said.
I think everybody should get up and do something, whatever it is. Find something you like, find somebody you like doing it with, and it's a decision you will never regret. Stay safe and do what you feel comfortable doing. Learn to enjoy it. It wouldn't be a burden.
Yes, well said, my brother. Well said. Well, Doc, Vishal, it was a pleasure. I mean, it was long overdue, but it happened at the right time. Because I
It
believe
did.
everything happened for the right reason and at the right time. So I know you're going to come back here probably. Well, not probably. I know you'll be back here
Of course.
2025. And because what you're doing, I think that there's a lot of people need to hear your message based on not just a profession, but how you balance, just what you mentioned earlier in the podcast, how you prioritize your health together with the same way you take care of other people's health. Your health is just as important as your patient, right? And a matter
Yeah.
of fact, in some cases, more important because if you're not there to help, and they're helping themselves, so at least you stay healthy. You know what I mean? If you look at it that way, you know what I mean? So,
No,
so
and as you said, Vic, for people who work in jobs, remember the day you die, the day you're too sick to work, the day they fire you, you will be replaced. You're
before the
just
next
part of a
step,
machine. So
yes. So
take care of yourself,
yes, yes,
because
well
nobody
said.
gonna do that for you, right?
Yes, well said, well said. So, Doc, again, wonderful podcast as expected,
It was.
and you be safe, you and your family. Continue to do what you're doing. I know you will see me. We'll bounce up soon as usual, because
We must bounce up.
down there, down them Jim, that's my home down there. That's my people down there. And take care. Have a blessed weekend, you and the family, and let's continue to fight that flag of wellness throughout Trinidad and Tobago, by extension, the Caribbean, by extension, the world. And take care. May God bless. Take care. Have a blessed
You
one.
too, Vic. You
Yeah.
too.